Oh, I guess it started. It didn't play. All right, what's up, everybody? Can I get a hello, Red Wave? Oh, all right. Well, we were supposed to have an little intro play. That didn't happen. So, uh, we are live on YouTube and Twitter. If you want to follow along and you're listening a day later, you can follow us on Twitter at Beware CSUF and on Twitter at Beware of Bulldogs. And you can follow our social media account on Instagram at Beware of Bulldogs Podcast. Everything's down there on the ticker, running on the bottom. So because I thought there was, I had a minute to get ready, I didn't pull up Twitter. So I'm going to pull up Twitter right now. But today we are talking Fresno State baseball sweeping the UNLV Rebels. A couple news headlines from the basketball world. And we're also going to talk some Final Four. It doesn't pertain to Fresno State, only a little bit because there is a Mountain West school in there. So should be fun. Did I miss anything, Caleb?
No, I think that's it. That's what we're looking forward to. So,
Okay, let's talk baseball, man.
let's do it. Yeah. Overall, I mean, really good weekend for the Dogs. I mean, going 3-0 is definitely going to help the conference standings, and that's 3 conference series wins in a row for the Dogs. So, yeah, huge and building momentum.
All right, game 1. Bulldogs win 2-1 in a 10-inning extra inning game. Okay, I have Twitter. I'm ready, guys. I'm ready. I have Twitter pulled up. We have the chat for YouTube ready. So I can see you guys now. I'm ready. Okay. We win 2-1. Jack Anchor gets the win. He's 2-0 on the season. Hopfy again with the save. At this time, I believe it was the first game. It moved him into second place in the nation when it came to overall saves. So
yeah, I mean, he's been nails at the end of the game. So, really impressive. I mean, it sounds like we're saying this every week, but I mean, just to have that guy in the bullpen, and I mean, usually he's lately he's been on the field, and just bringing him in to close out the game has been good. But yeah, I mean, overall, really tight game, and from a couple pitchers from Clovis. UNLV's
yeah.
pitcher, kid from Clovis High. So thankfully the Dogs still got the better of that one with Eshawn on the hill, and I mean he's just been throwing some gems, man. And unfortunately, didn't get a decision in this one because he left the game tied 1-1. But yeah, Anchor came in and did what he needed to do for 2 innings, and it's just impressive for freshman to really have that poise to be the first man up after the ace, really, because that's kind of been his role so far this season, is just to come in after Eshawn on Friday nights. So yeah, overall, offense did just enough. Yeah, it wasn't until the 10th inning that the Dogs were able to, get the leading run across the plate. Oh, and we lost now. Perfect. All right.
We go. All right, we're back. I don't know what happened, Caleb. This is I have no idea.
We are on a roll tonight.
Yep. It's still recording, so it got all of it.
All right, good. So I'll just resume.
Yep. So I don't even know what they heard or what they didn't hear. So
I was just talking about the pitching, how impressive Anchor's been, especially as a freshman, kind of settling into his role as kind of first man off the bench coming in relief on Friday nights for Eshawn. So yeah, I mean he went 2 innings, no runs, and ended up in line for the victory. So he's moved to 2-0 on the year and just been really solid. Yeah, offense didn't have a ton of firepower on Friday night, but thankfully
Oh,
they were able.
that was one of the things I was talking about. So I don't know if they heard this or not, but I was
Oh,
talking
okay.
about Bobby Blanford and how we're going to get to it. But he was on base when Shepard came in and grounded out, and got an RBI for it. Blanford had hit a double and moved runners into scoring position, and we're going to get to him later on because he's been on fire.
Hmm.
Anything else you want to say about game 2 offensively? Or sorry, game 1 offensively? Well,
I
we
mean,
should mention Hopfy. I don't know if you said it. Hopfy did not play first base this entire series. He DH'd, and so we had Jaden Shepard at first, and then at third base we usually have Peyton Allen, but this series we started Murph Gray,
mhm.
and he did well. He actually won Freshman of the Week after this series.
He did, yeah, yeah. It was some different lineups that Overland threw out this weekend, and yeah, even kind of shook up the batting lineup on Sunday because Nico Mitchell kind of struggling this series. I mean, I think he was in the first 2 games. I think he was 0 for 10 combined, so not great. So they dropped him down in the lineup for Sunday. Or I guess he had a hit on Saturday, so he was 1 for 11 the first 2 games. So that's tough, especially from the leadoff guy. You want to be, have him getting on base and setting the table for the guys behind him. So, yeah, Overland showing he can, he's willing to throw some different guys in there. And yeah, I mean, so far, it's a really good weekend for Jaden Shepard too. I mean, he,
Mhm.
did, had a good performance at the plate too. So, yeah, Shepard and Gray both looking good.
Game 2, back to back extra inning games. We go to 11 in game 2. We win 7-5. We had I'll tell you, Trevor Garcia got the win, moves him to 2-2 overall on the year. Game was about 3 hours long, but Dixon got the start. Dixon went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. And then we had Robbie Peters come in. Zach Statzer came in. He faced 8 batters, but he didn't get any outs. This is the first time I've actually said this. He gave up 3 runs. I don't think I've
Mhm.
ever said Statzer gave up a run. He gave up 3 runs. Then Hopfy came in, finished the inning, and then Trevor Garcia came in, pitched 3 innings, and got the win. So it started off well with Dixon, and then after that, when we got to the bullpen, things changed in the 8th.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, overall, definitely pleased with Dixon's performance. I mean, last weekend he struggled and he was getting hit around by New Mexico, so it was definitely good to see him kind of bounce back and he really dominate like we've seen him. So 7 strong innings out of Dixon was good to see, and then I mean, even Robbie Peters looked good too. I mean, he's kind of more of the lefty lefty matchup specialist. So he got his first 2 guys out and then gave up a base hit and got pulled, and Stasser just struggled. I mean, he was, they were just hitting him, and so
Mhm.
that allowed UNLV to get back in the game, and thankfully we got Hoppy to come and clean things up. So he came in and got the 1 out that we needed, but yeah, got to be a little frustrating for Dixon to not be able to be in line for a victory, at least in the stat sheet, because yeah, overall, I mean, for the first 7 innings, I mean, he was dominating, and the dogs were had a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah, we started off right away in the second. We scored. We were up 2-0. We ended up going up 5-1 at one point. And like I mentioned before, Bobby Blanford went 3 for 5 with an RBI. Ben Newton went 2 for 4. Our offense was Murph Gray 3 for 4. And I mean, no home runs, but Tyler Davis had 2 doubles in this
Hmm.
game. He had a good series. So, well, Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. I
there's
think it was.
yeah,
Yeah, a couple hits on Sunday and Friday too. So yeah, overall,
yeah.
good bounce
I
back
guess
series.
what I'm thinking of, it wasn't really his fault,
Right.
but in game 3. Uh, game 2, you know, tough game, long game, but we get the job done.
Yeah, back to back extra inning games, and um, I think what was good to see in the 11th inning was um, what was it? I think the Dogs got a couple guys on base, and then ended up scoring the go ahead run. On a wild pitch, and then
Mhm.
immediately following, Marco hit he ripped a single
You're not going to
to
say
right
his last
field.
name?
Purcelli. Sorry. And Purcello, sorry. In that moment, I'm like, "Yep, I don't have it. We're just gonna go first name only."
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
But, yeah, I mean, it
Where's the
was
Italians at? Help us out.
exactly, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it was a nice, hard hit ball, and, that was a pinch hit too. He was hitting for Hoppy there, so, to coming off the bench and, hitting hard, I think was good, and, give, the defense a 2-run lead, which, was a lot easier to defend than a 1-run lead. So overall, good that the Dogs were able to do that. And yeah, Trevor Garcia just able to shut the door. I mean, pitched the last 3 innings, and that was huge for the Dogs.
Last game, and I see you guys in there. I see fantasy football dudes have joined us. Trent's here, and Jay Watson. What's going on? Jay Watson, he loves Fresno State baseball, but he can't wait for until April 15th. And fantasy football dudes, um, he loves the name Murph. He says that's Trent. Game 3, we really dominate. It was pretty ugly. We finished the game with a win 10-4. We had 12 hits in that game. That's good. That's what we want to see, but very sloppy. And earlier on, maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, you said we're gonna have to score some runs, whether we squeeze bunt, something, sack fly. We got to do these things to score some runs. Or maybe it was Soldati. I don't remember who it was. One of you guys. But this was the game. And we scored 10 runs. And we scored on a lot of well, it was it the first 3 or 4 runs. They walked the first 3 batters. They walked the 4th batter. So Nico Mitchell gets an RBI walk. And then Gray gets hit by a pitch. So there's 2. And then Purcello, I don't.
There you go.
He okay. I had to try it. I wasn't going to leave you out hanging. He reached on a fielder's choice, and there you go. Now we're up 3-0 right off the get go. We'll take the runs however we get them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this was a kind of an ugly game, and kind of reminded me of little league game with the amount of walks. I mean, the UNLV pitching staff. I mean, they walked the Dogs 7 times, which is that's a lot. And I think they had 2 hits batters. So I mean, that's 9 guys they're putting on for free, and it's gonna be tough for them to win a game when they're giving away that many bases. So yeah, I mean, the Dogs' first 5 runs that were scored without a hit, a couple sacrifices in there. But yeah, I think, just being able to take advantage of a pitcher that's struggling and, not forcing it and, hitting into something that's, not going to be productive for the offense. So overall, credit the offense for being patient. And, on the Fresno State pitching side, they were able to do enough. To stay in the game. I mean, Roman Angelo, this was, a little bit better performance than we've seen from him lately. I mean, he went 6th and 3rd and, gave up some runs, a couple of them on a wild, 2 wild pitches though, which is tough. And those, could obviously be prevented, just by not throwing wild. But, yeah, overall, the Dogs were in control of this game. That's for sure. And I mean, on the pitching side, I mean, it's got to be you got to feel good to be pitching with the lead. I mean, the closest, the Dogs were pretty much in the lead by at least 3 runs the whole game. So gave the defense an opportunity to play well, and yeah, overall strong finish from the dogs. And I mean, and that's something we've been talking about too, that Overland said. The great teams are able to close out a series, and to be able to do it on the road too is huge.
Yeah, this was our first road win, and we won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Jaden Shepard went 3 for 5, scored 2 runs. Murph Gray, he went 1 for 4 with a ribby. Marco, our boy Marco, had 4 ribbies, going 2 for 4. And Travis Welker at short went 3 for 5 with a ribby. So our guys are playing good right now.
Yeah.
They're hot. Fantasy football dudes ask, is this the year? Wonder Dogs? I'm gonna wait on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of baseball left, but I mean, if we can just get to the conference tournament and be competitive, I think that would be huge. And ideally get to regional. Just get to postseason baseball. There's no NIT in college baseball, so you got to make the field, the main field to get to play in the postseason. But yeah, I mean, so far, to be able to do this on the road and close out teams. I mean, because even against the teams that might be towards the bottom of the conference, because right now UNLV moves to 7-14 on the season overall, which obviously isn't where they want to be, but the good teams need to be able to put away the less good teams. So I think that's a good step for this Bulldog team.
Yeah, I'm excited about this baseball team, and I'm also very excited for April 15th, like you, Watson. And let's move on to Fresno State basketball, because there's some news out there now. We have lost our 3rd player to the transfer portal. So if you don't know, Destin Whitaker entered the transfer portal a couple weeks ago, then Jordan Campbell, and now Anthony Holland has entered the transfer portal. Anthony Holland entered today. That is Monday, March 27th. So, Caleb, I know you got a take that you want to share with everybody. I heard a little bit of it, and I'm interested to hear this. I can't wait for this conversation. But it does hurt. I love Jordan Campbell as a player, as a person. I got to know him this year personally. Great kid. I want nothing but the best for Jordan and all the guys. And we talk about Evan Williams transferring and some football guys transferring when they're having a lot of success here. These guys were not having the most success here, and we know why they transferred. Everybody knows the rumors. So it's hard for me to feel a certain way. It's hard for me to fight this. I'm not fighting this. I want them to transfer and go be successful. It's a bummer because I like those guys. They've been around for a long time. They're Bulldogs. So as much as I'd love for them to stay, I understand why they're leaving. Caleb, first, what are your thoughts on Anthony Holland, Jordan Campbell, and Destin Whitaker? And who knows, there could be more.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that probably basketball is, I feel like I don't really feel bad for these guys leaving, because obviously they're trying to go somewhere where they get minutes and where they can play, because most of these guys, they still have dreams of playing at the next level, playing professionally, or whether that's overseas in Europe or, South America or wherever. So obviously they're going to want to go somewhere where they're going to get time on the floor, where they can get better and, put some good tape together, so that way they can hopefully make a living out of playing basketball. So I definitely don't blame them. And, especially, we know that there was some division in the locker room. So we definitely had a feeling that there was going to be some fallout here with some guys leaving. So, I mean, I really like the way Holland plays. I mean, he's tough. I think if he were a little bit taller, I think he'd be maybe more of a force rebounding. Because I think that's, watching, all this basketball the last 2 weeks of, the NC2A tournament, it's kind of had me like almost like scout all the other teams. It's like, okay, what do we need to do to be successful here? It's like, okay. So
yes, I'm glad we pulled you to the basketball world.
Exactly. All right. So here's kind of my new take for basketball. So I think it's in Bulldogs' best interest if Coach Hutt stays, because I think that's the
Okay.
highest. So I think that's the chance to keep the roster together, like the highest chance of that happening. So I think JoJo Hunter can be a really good player. And I think if he's able to be like the main scorer, that can free up Jamal Baker to just be a spot up shooter, right? Like he doesn't have to try to drive and create. Like maybe he can get a mismatch down low because that is one of his strengths. But if we're not having to rely on him to take
Does Jamal have
15,
another year?
he does, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So right now he's coming back. Isaiah Hill has eligibility and coming back.
Hmm.
So if JoJo Hunter is able to be kind of the main scorer and attacking and hitting the mid range jumpers, and Baker's able to just be kind of more of a spot up shooter, which supposedly he's a good shooter. I mean he was
He
really
is. He
hot.
can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was really hot in the last home game of the year. So I think that if Hut sticks around, I think there's a good chance JoJo stays, right? I mean, he was the one that
I
recruited
have
him,
no idea. I
but we
don't
also
know.
have no idea. So this is just, my speculation. So, but seeing San Diego State success, right? Like they're not a high
Mhm.
scoring team. Like they're built on defense,
We
but
held
the
them under 50 points.
exactly they only scored 45 points against us and they beat us. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But okay, so if we take the San Diego State framework, defense and Hut's teams are good defensive teams, right? Would you agree?
Top in the nation.
Okay. The problem I think is in the makeup of the personnel. So maybe I'm contradicting myself here, but stay with me here.
Okay.
So, I mean, we can win with defense. We just need to get bigger dudes. I mean, when Anthony Holland is, I guess, playing the four. I mean, he's 6'5". So I mean,
Right.
he just not going to be as powerful of a force as say some guy who just entered the transfer portal from New Mexico. The guy Alec, he plays football like a linebacker. Who I know
Basketball like linebacker. Yeah.
yeah, sorry, yeah, plays basketball like a linebacker. You and Cole love him. I mean, I would imagine he would be frustrating to play against. So like getting a guy like that who just is a force and can rebound and I mean, I think we want that from Leo, right? Because we see,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Yeah.
this dude is big, he can jump. Like, why is he not a force, rebounding and getting involved? So I think that Hut can do it because I think the defensive system is how the Dogs have to win. Because I don't think we're going to be a high-powered offensive team unless some major changes happen, right? So I think we need to, go all in on defense and hopefully JoJo can be the leading scorer. And that was all over the place. So hit me with your rebuttals.
All right. I'll be happy to. I think we can be a great offensive team. I think all we have to do is make our shots. If our shots go in, it's a totally different ball game. Literally.
Simple but true.
Yeah. I mean, Cole and I were talking about it. We didn't take early on in the season, we didn't take enough shots. We weren't getting enough shots up.
Mhm.
And the shots we were getting up were tough, contested shots, hand in the face, fadeaways, or one-on-one game, or maybe 1-on-2 because we force help and we're still forcing up a shot. So, but we're creating shots. And the second we can force help, if we have a threat in the corner that can knock down a bucket, and by the way, our average margin of loss this year was 2 points. So
Wow.
we hit one more three-pointer, or I would say two more three-pointers in a game, we win most of them. I mean, we win 10 more games,
Yeah.
and we're a 20-win team. That's two more three-pointers in a game. So I agree with you. Once we lost Isaiah Moore, it hurt because we lost length. I don't want
Mhm.
to say like we lost size, but he's skinny.
Right.
So, strength and conditioning coach, I'm talking to you. Let's beef up these boys. Let's get them going. Josiah Alec, player from New Mexico that entered the transfer portal, would be a great fit for us. He will rebound, and I call those guys. They have a hate your mother attitude. They don't care who is in their way or what they have to do to keep you from scoring or going to get the ball.
Right.
They hate their mother, and and you better get out of their way, or else you will get hurt. So a guy like it doesn't have to be Josiah, but somebody like him would be very helpful. Andre is the second, like he's already better than Josiah Alec. We saw it. We beat them.
Yeah.
Andre could be that guy for us. Now, the hard part is from the basketball. Sorry, I get fired up because I'm a big basketball fan. You know, who is going to stay, who's leaving, we don't know, especially when you have Anthony Holland, who was a starter, into the transfer portal. So now I have no idea. I thought, okay, the guys getting minutes will most likely stay because that mean that they're going to continue to get minutes or not. I guess I don't. So there 3 are in the transfer portal right now. We'll see what happens. I want nothing but the best for this basketball program, and I like the guys we have. You know, guards really struggle guarding Isaiah Hill. He does a very good job. He's quick dribbling the ball. He's great. Jamal Baker can shoot. He scored 43 points on 14 shots, made shots. That's insane.
Yeah.
So and we have Andre still. Leo's still there. We have pieces there that we can work with. Let's beef them up. You know, if Hutt is the guy, then yeah, we need to play amazing defense like San Diego State.
Right. And I think depth behind Andre is going to be really important.
Yes.
They're going to have to find someone because, if Andre gets in foul trouble early, I mean, then we got to go small and, then we're just going to get mismatched. And, that's not great for our rebounding.
We do have one guy that was injured all season. CHIK. I don't remember the letters after that.
Yeah. It's like Chooks or something.
Yeah. Chooks. I don't know. We'll see. Saldati's in here. He said, so play like you hate your mama. Yeah, you have to. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just more aggression, I guess.
Yeah. That's an easier way of saying it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, the argument against Coach Hutt staying, okay, is almost the same argument that you had for Coach Hutt. Or the argument for Coach Hutt leaving or getting rid of Coach Hutt is the same argument you had for Coach Hutt staying.
Okay.
Is keeping players together because we are divided, right? So, I don't know what happened. Good. Oh, Isaiah Hill. It's Isaiah Hill. He's in here. So what's up, Isaiah? Nobody can guard you. Get to the rim, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah. Get buckets.
Yeah. So I don't know how things are going. We need to have Isaiah on. Maybe we won't be able to ask him these questions, but
I have one other thought train for coaching staff. So what if because I was watching UCLA and so their coaching staff, full suits, everyone on the coaching staff, full suit. It's like, okay, what if Hutt just goes full personality change? Yeah, it just goes, we're locking down. This is a business. I'm wearing a suit here. The whole coaching staff is wearing a suit. Like, does that change the mindset of the team or anything?
Okay, you want to know what I think?
Yeah.
Isaiah might hate me after this. I don't know. I agree with you. I think on game day, the coaching staff they're in suits. When I played ball, we were forced to wear button-up tie, slacks, dress shoes. If you didn't play. Now, if that's high school, that's a little much. I understand. But from the coaching perspective, I work on the farm. I dress for the farm. Some people say, what's basketball attire? Is it track suits, or sweats or what? I think it's a suit and a tie. That's what as a coach. So I've never seen, I've seen him wear, a nice sweater.
Sure. Yeah.
I ran into Coach Hutt at the bar and he was wearing the same thing he wears on game days.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he dresses poorly or doesn't dress for the job, but it just kind of struck me. It's like, man, full suit, these guys are taking it seriously. So just a thought that maybe it would make a little spark or something.
Yeah, no, people actually treat you differently. That's actually proven that when you dress like that, it's proven that people will treat you differently. Sometimes I think about dressing like the Italian mobsters back in the day with the cool hats. I think that, and they got a chain, and either they're smoking a cigarette or a cigar or something. I mean, who would not take you seriously, right?
Yeah, they'd probably think you're plenty aggressive. That's for
well,
sure.
well, I don't have dark hair like the Italians, so I might be all right. uh, Isaiah says it's not a bad thought. So
All right.
you might be onto something, Caleb. Who knows?
All right.
But next time you show up to a basketball game, well, maybe we should wear a suit.
We should, yeah. We need to set the example. That's right.
And then nobody would take us seriously. They already don't. But all right, let's talk about the Final Four.
Yeah.
So we have a Mountain West team in the Final Four, San Diego State. I'm pulling up a window right now with the bracket. Give me a second. Boom. Okay. So can you see it, Caleb?
Nope.
Son of a gun. It should be on there. No, it's not. All right. Well, whatever. We will talk about, like I said, we've had a lot of technical.
There it is.
There we go. Got it. All right. So San Diego State beats Creighton 57-56 by 1 point. And the drama behind this is with 1 second to go, they call a shooting foul, and he knocks down the shot with 1.1 seconds left, and then Creighton throws it full court. They tip it out of bounds. Game over, right? And the people are up in arms. They weren't calling this all game. Then they call this. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it was a good move by the San Diego State player because, I mean, the way that he shot it, he did kind of draw the contact, which I think was good. And he did miss the first free throw. So, I mean, he had to have been so, so I don't know, feeling whatever because, thankfully he made the second one.
Right.
I mean, the Creighton inbounds play, I thought that was kind of an interesting call, to go with the full court heave, because they did have a guy kind of curling around in the backcourt where, it looked like he could have caught it, took a step, and put up a decent half-court look. So, I mean, obviously, the half-court heave is going to be a lower percentage shot than maybe if you're able to get something, 15, 18 feet away from the hoop.
You have Nathan Mensah sitting under the hoop. What are you doing throwing that? That's my opinion.
I don't know. My other thought was the kid for Creighton who threw it in, the 55. I mean, you can tell he grew up in the Dude Perfect era. I mean, headband and shooting sleeve. White. I was like, that's hilarious. This kid grew up on YouTube.
That's pretty good. Saldati says, so you play like you hate your mama and dress like you're headed to church.
Exactly.
Forgiveness. Keyword forgiveness.
Gotta keep them guessing.
People. I was reading online I call them trolls. All the trolls that were up in arms. The refs blew the game for Creighton. You don't win or lose a game on one call. I'm in that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, before all this happened, Creighton had 2 possessions where they fouled San Diego State.
Yep.
And I don't know why they did that. The shot clock was running. Then their second foul, it turns off the shot clock. Now San Diego State can hold the ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. You hit one more shot. You cut down on your turnovers. You get one more offensive rebound. You box out one. There's lots of things you can do where you don't put yourself in that situation, and you shouldn't blame the refs. So,
right. Well, and even going back to the play before, how Creighton tied the game. I mean, when San Diego State was trying to inbound the ball on their own side of the court, and the guy overthrew the guy right to Creighton underneath the hoop, and he lays it in to tie the game. I mean, I don't know if that's how they schemed it, but it's like, okay, if you're gonna have to lob it in, maybe don't lob it right to your opponent's hoop so that they can grab it and play it in. So I don't know. That seemed like maybe a coaching blunder, but or like, if you're playing youth soccer, I mean, you don't kick it toward your own goal, right? kick it away from your own
you always
goal.
throw it to your hoop.
Really? Okay.
If
Well,
you
that's me not really playing basketball. So.
no. You're right. I mean, you throw it to the hoop that you want to score in.
Oh, your hoop. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I am
Yeah.
right. All right.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. But I will say there multiple things can be true at the same time.
Right.
When it comes, was it a bad call? Probably, because they weren't calling it. They I don't want to say they weren't calling it, but they were not calling off ball stuff all game. Uh, and it was a foul. So should it not have been called? Probably, and it was a foul. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then San Diego State now has to go play FAU. I can't believe I'm
Another
saying that.
another Cinderella Conference USA
But
Cinderella versus San
but
Diego State.
I love Cinderella stories and things of that nature, underdogs. Could you call these two Cinderellas? I mean, you have the best defense in the country, and FAU, they're a 31 basketball team coming
Right.
into this tournament. I look past them because Memphis just beat Houston. Oh, they're not going to get past Memphis. The only game I picked them to win was Fairleigh Dickinson, and they did win that game. Every game I pick against them, they win. So, I'm I'm in a predicament here, Caleb, because if I pick against FAU, they've won every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to pick against San Diego State. So I think it's a good matchup, though.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have a Conference USA or a Mountain West team in the national championship, by the way.
Yeah.
When it comes to San Diego State, a veteran defensive team, they're very aggressive, hate your mama attitude, Jake, and they can get it done. I mean, and most teams have not played a team like this.
Mm-hmm.
Only in the Mountain West do you get this certain physicality.
Right.
And, I've talked about it with my brother on here before, but the Mountain West plays a different brand of basketball. They really do. And in some ways, it can hurt them when they go play in outside tournaments because they're used to certain refs calling the games. The refs are used to seeing those players and their tendencies, and they let stuff go. And it's easier to get into foul trouble, I think, when they move outside of the Mountain West.
Right.
And you still have to adjust and do those things. But I mean, San Diego State is so good defensively, crazy. FAU can score at will. Who do you have winning this game?
Oh man.
By the way, FAU beat really good teams.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I have to lean FAU just because
No way.
I think that I think that good offense could beat the good defense, but I mean, who knows? I just hope it's a close game and competitive because I mean they've just been really fun to watch. And on your comment about Mountain West basketball this year, I think I saw it on Twitter. Our friend Tim Brando made a comment about how this season Mountain West basketball was better than Pac-12 basketball. From
Not even
top to
close.
bottom. So that was good to get some more national recognition there. And I mean, definitely got a point. I mean, even with the team in the Final Four, that definitely shows it too. So, and now I guess conference realignment talk. Pac-12 is definitely going to want San Diego State to help improve their basketball. Yeah. But I am going to pick Florida Atlantic to win this game.
All right, I'm going SDSU.
Okay,
and let's bring home the bacon and get a little bit more money for Fresno State.
Totally, yeah.
I never get to cheer for the Aztecs. Now is the time I'm cheering for the Aztecs. And it's a West Coast school. I'm done cheering for these East Coast schools. I got 3 East Coast schools over here. No, I'm cheering for the West Coast school. On the other side of the bracket, we have Miami, who some are arguing had the toughest path to the Final Four. They beat Drake, Indiana, Houston, and Texas. And by the way, Texas has retained Rodney Terry, former Fresno State basketball coach. So congratulations, RT. If you haven't watched the post-game press conference with RT and his boys, you need to go do that. It is amazing to me how much they respect him. Did you get to see it, Caleb?
I didn't know.
Okay, well, yeah, you got to look it up and watch it. And same with vice versa. Rodney Terry loves those boys. So it was very smart for them to retain him. I mean, he coached most of the season, made the Elite Eight. It would be smart to keep your coach that did that.
Sure, sure.
And the boys love him. So you keep him. Congrats, Rodney Terry. But Miami won the game, came back and won the game. And they beat really good teams. I overlooked them because I was so enthralled by Duke winning the ACC tournament. I forgot about Miami. Plus, they were the 5 seed, and I really like Texas. And here they are, no problem. Do you have anything to say about Miami, Caleb?
Not much. I don't know. I think usually my historical trend of Miami is that they usually choke. So I think that's why I wrote them off pretty early. And so yeah, I mean, I was surprised that they had beat Texas because it seemed like Texas was just playing some good basketball. But
Right.
now they're in the Final Four, so tough matchup against UConn too. Because
Big
I
time.
I really don't know who's going to take this one. I guess probably UConn just for in these matchups. I guess I lean more toward who's been there more, and I guess UConn is more experienced there, and this late in the season. So I guess that's probably going to be my pick. There is UConn.
I like UConn too. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know UConn has won every game by 15 points or more?
Really? Oh no.
Yeah. Wild. They're destroying everyone. And I think, my opinion, they've had the easiest path to the Final Four.
Okay. So
They
they
beat
could be fraudulent, and they're going to get whooped by Miami.
They could be, but they are a very good team.
Okay.
They beat Iona, St. Mary's. Those teams are not on the same good teams, but not on the same level. They
Hmm.
beat Arkansas, and Arkansas just came off beating Kansas, who some were arguing that's best team in the country.
Hmm.
Crushed Arkansas. Then they play Gonzaga, which I thought would be a fun matchup. Timmy versus Sonogo. Crushed them. It was the most boring game ever.
Yeah,
And
that game was a big bummer.
yeah, they blow out Gonzaga, and now they go play Miami. And there's games where it can go one of two ways. It's either going to be UConn blowing out Miami by 15 or more, or Miami wins in a tight one.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. And then we get a UConn San Diego State matchup where you have Sonogo versus Nathan Mensah.
Mhm.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, what chance do you think San Diego State actually has at winning the national championship?
Oh, I think they have a legitimate chance.
Okay.
I believe that they can beat FAU. Now, the FAU team is no joke. They
Oh
are
yeah.
a legitimate contender. They could easily win this as well. I think any of these teams could legitimately win this, but San Diego State, I think, has the best chance at winning the national championship here because of how they play defense.
Right.
And they're so consistent. They play the same brand of basketball every game.
Hmm.
Where Miami has been up and down all year, UConn has had. I mean, they're looking very good, but they had some time during the season where they were down. I mean, now FAU is the. I guess you have the two most consistent teams, San Diego State and FAU, playing against each other. Uh, but I think San Diego State plays a brand of basketball that no one else has seen,
Hmm.
and I actually really like them, not just because they're a Mountain West school, but because of the brand of basketball that they play, and because they're veterans. They have a legitimate chance.
All right. Hopefully it happens. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that would be great. Plus, more money to Fresno State.
Right.
All right, man. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? There hasn't been a lot of football news. They had a little scrimmage. No news there. Mose Viveo didn't play.
Right.
We
He's
talked about that last
still a
time.
little banged up.
Yeah, we said he's probably not going to play in the spring. Quarterbacks, they're all getting reps, all of them, and splitting reps.
Right.
So nobody knows. And of course, Tedford says they all look good. So, what do we do with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's not much we could say other than conference realignment. There's been news going around. And to be honest, I'm tired of it, Caleb.
Yeah.
Can you believe I'm tired of it?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of, been going on for so long, it seems like it's not gonna happen, so we've kinda wasted our time, talking about all these, other conference dreams so far, but,
And tens of
um
thousands of dollars on consultants.
right, or millions, depending on who you ask. Oh, man, but, yeah, I mean, I guess it'll be good to just know what's gonna happen, so hopefully Pac-12 can figure out their media deal here, and then the rest of the dominoes can fall.
Yep. You will know when we know because there will be a huge party, I'm sure, and they will let everyone know. The school will let everyone know when we officially move into another conference. So if you're relying on us for your news, don't for that one. Don't because we're going to know when they release it. All right, man. Well, this one was a fun one with all the technical difficulties, and we had a lot to cover today. So it was a lot of fun. Once again, we did this live. So for everyone listening later, I apologize for the technical difficulties. But you don't have to see it. That's the nice part. But you can see it live on Twitter at Beware CSUF and on YouTube at Beware of Bulldogs. You can also subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell and it'll notify you when we go live. We're trying to be consistent and do it around 8:30, like 8:30 on a Monday night. And then that it'll be released. The podcast version will be released on Tuesday. I was late to the party when I was supposed to release a podcast today with Gina Strang Barons, and that is coming out tomorrow. So listen to that as well. Gina is a 3-time All-American softball player for Fresno State. She's a stud.
All right.
Yeah. So hit the subscribe button there on YouTube and follow us everywhere else. Thank you guys. If you have thoughts, please tweet at us. We're on Twitter. Caleb and I are both on Twitter. So tweet at us. We're happy to talk with you guys and chat about everything Fresno State and whatever else you got. So thank you guys. Caleb, thank you. God bless. Stay safe, stay healthy. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.